So greetings, beloveds, joining us online later as you watch this. Today we are continuing to unlock the promises of blessings which Jesus imparted in the Sermon on the Mount, which of course is found in the Beatitudes. Yay! So welcome to Unity of Tempe as we continue on our journey in our series Blessed. And if you've missed any of this series, you can find it on our YouTube channel, Unity of Tempe, or our website, unityoftempe.org. So this morning, we're exploring the sixth Beatitude. Does anyone know what it is? All right, let's go look at it. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Oh, see why we had that song earlier? All fits in, right? But unlike some of the other Beatitudes, this one seems a little bit more straightforward in a way, doesn't it? But the question is, who exactly are the pure in heart? And what qualities do they exude? So for a better grasp of this, let's dive in to our metaphysical exploration. So from a unity perspective, this beatitude is about inner sincerity. Being pure in heart is having a clear and focused intention aligned with the highest good. Something we hear a lot in unity, right? So the pure in heart are those who regularly cleanse themselves from negative thoughts, behaviors, and actions towards themselves and others. We do that, right? And the pure in heart strive to live with authenticity and integrity, aligning their thoughts, words, and actions with the highest expression of their divine potential, something we also do. The pure in heart are true to themselves and to the divine essence within them. They are true to themselves. I feel a Shakespeare quote coming on. You know what it's going to be, right? To thine own self be true. So why is it important that we are true to ourselves? Because when we're true to ourselves, allowing ourselves to live authentically, we're more likely to be true and authentic with others. Let's look at the whole quote. To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night, the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Like, it's very strange that this comes from Polonius, because he's a really strange character, and he gives this wisdom here. And so the pure in heart cultivate a life that is free from duplicity and deceit. Interesting. So let's look at this. This is from the Voice Bible translation. There are so many Bible translations. And this one I love. Who can possibly ascend the mountain of the eternal? Who can stand before God in sacred spaces? Only those whose hands have been washed and hearts made pure, men and women who are not given to lies or deception. Interesting. Psalm 24. So people with pure hearts strive to live in alignment with their spiritual principles. What are they? Omnipresence, oneness, mind, prayer, and action. Yes, they live in those principles for the betterment of themselves and for others. And they do their utmost to speak and live from a place of unconditional love, peace, and wisdom that transcends personal ego and ulterior motives. People with pure hearts try to find light in difficult situations, but that doesn't mean that they deny the existence of injustice or betrayal or suffering, but they choose to not get their emotions kidnapped by those things. Instead, they focus on what they can do to make change in the world, positive change. So that tells us something about who the pure of heart are and also the qualities that they exude. But what about the blessing promised in this beatitude? Remember what the blessing was? The blessing is that the pure of heart will see God. Exactly. So what does that mean? Well, from a unity perspective, seeing God is understood metaphorically rather than literally. And it means to perceive the divine presence at principles at work in yourself, at work in your life, and at work in others. And it's the realization and recognition that God's presence is moving and having its action, excuse me, in all aspects of your life. So it's really about our oneness with the divine. And a tenet of unity is that we are co-creators with Spirit, right? We've heard about that. We're co-creating life with Spirit through our thoughts, which lead to what? Our thoughts lead to our actions. Yes. So the blessing of seeing God is to actively participate in this creative process with clear and focused intention. And our ability to see and experience God in our lives is enhanced by our spiritual tools. Spiritual tools such as what? Prayer and meditation and affirmations and visualizations and oh so much more. Running through the sprinklers is a spiritual tool for me right now on my morning walk. But it's enhanced when we live in a way that reflects our highest spiritual ideals of love and truth and the oneness that we are with all of creation. So last week's attitude, what was it about? Does anyone remember what last week's attitude was about for those who were here? Yes, exactly. Let's look at it. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy. If you didn't catch this one, it's pretty deep. There's a great video on it, and it's like we can't have that every single week because it was intense last week, but good intense. So this one gets us a little lighter. But what happens when we're merciful? Well, our heart opens up, and we put God's infinite love into expression. And then as we do that, as we put God's infinite love into expression, we begin to enter the realm of today's Beatitude. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Allowing God's love to move through our hearts and into our thoughts, words, and actions, we begin to see God. We begin to see the good. We begin to see the divine at work in our lives, and our heart opens, and we see Spirit not only in the big things that we've manifested, but in all those little things that we take for granted. I bet you someone in this room is taking that air conditioning that they're longing to have back in their life, saying, oh my goodness, when it comes back on, I'm going to praise it up, a storm every moment. And we're going home and praising up our air conditioning also. When our heart is open, we take less offense. When our heart is closed, everything can offend us. But when our heart is open, we might find ourselves still being offended by something, but instead of harboring it, instead of nurturing it, we begin nurturing blessings. And as we do that, we become blessers. We look for the good, and we praise it, and we appreciate it, and we give thanks, and we are grateful, and we bless. And when a person or a situation does cause us offense, notice I said when, not if, because we're going to get cheesed off at some point or other, possibly during this week, possibly even on the drive home. Let's affirm not, though. Then, as we open our hearts up to this Beatitude, we discover we can release it easier than we used to by affirming something to ourselves like, I bless you, and I'm going to release you. Let's practice that. Don't say it to me, though, because I hope you don't release me. I hope you're not cheesed off at me. But let's say it. Think of someone in your head or some situation. It can be political, because I'm not going to go there and say what it is, but it could be political. You're going to say it, and you're going to say, I bless you, and I'm going to release you. I bless you, and I'm going to release you. One more time. I bless you, and I'm going to release you. So you can practice that in your life. There's situations in your life that you're going to work on that, and we all do, right? So that's a good one to use. The journey of a pure heart, well, it's lifelong. It's not like we wake up one morning with a text from God saying, congratulations, beloved. You've arrived at your destination. You now have a completely pure heart. And that is going to be the same way for the rest of your earthly adventure. No, it's a day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment opportunity. And it's a wonderful transformative endeavor leading to personal growth and the shedding of old patterns that no longer serve us. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So what's in your heart? Because the only thing truly that belongs in there is love. Ooh. Things like unforgiveness, harshness, jealousy, vengeance, unworthiness, guilt, shame, emotions that we've all experienced. What do? They cut us off from the flow of God's love. To be pure in heart, focus on letting love blossom in you all the time. Not like the elusive cactus that blooms just one night a year. The rest of the year it looks like a pile of dead sticks. But for one single night every summer, beautiful white blooms appear. Over the course of just a couple of hours, the petals of the night blooming cereus, nicknamed the queen of the night. Has anyone ever seen one of these?
Not really happening, but
Yeah. They unfold just during a couple of hours in the middle of the night. And it's beautiful perfume. It's intoxicating and lovely and wonderful. And it permeates the air, and it's a spectacular event. But it's a stingy metaphor for love. Imagine if you just had one night a year to share your love. Hey, everyone, it's almost the night. I know, I've been a prickly bunch of thorns for the past 364 days, but tonight's the night. I'm going to let my love bloom. Tonight, one night only. Don't miss it. Thank you, God, that our love is not limited to just one night a year. Instead, we can choose to bloom like the lotus flower. Why the lotus flower? Well, because this plant thrives best in muddy waters, in a muddy environment, particularly ponds. And it seeks this ideal balance of nutrients essential for the lotus to thrive and display a variety of beautiful colored blossoms. The stems begin their growth in the mud, reaching upwards towards the water's surface where the leaves and blossoms can open into the sunlight. And it turns out that despite their preference for muddy conditions, lotus flowers are quite adaptable. They can actually survive in very cold conditions as long as their roots remain in water or mud. And they can tolerate extreme heat, which is why we often see them blooming in unusual places. And this is why the lotus flower, particularly in Eastern cultures, are a symbol of purity and personal growth. Did you know that? Now you do. So, beloveds, whenever we feel ourselves limiting our love by unforgiveness, resentment, comparison, or anything else, let's commit to taking a bold step by affirming. Let's say it together. I am willing to open my heart and let love bloom like a lotus. I am willing to open my heart and let love bloom like a lotus. Yes, when our heart flowers with love, it blesses every fiber of our being. And all that is less than God, all that is less than good begins to disappear as our heart heals from deep wounds. The Buddha said, let's say it together, when the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. I love that. So one of the goals on our spiritual journey is to be a reflection of God's love in us, to see, think, speak, and act, and be the reflection, and to do it without making a big song and dance about it. As Terry Pratchett said, goodness is about what you do, not who you pray to. I posted on my Facebook this week as well. People with pure hearts don't run around declaring their goodness. They show it in their actions. And so I've got a video that I know I've shown before, and I was thinking I'm going to find another video instead of this one today, but this is the perfect video for right now. So if you've seen it before, watch it again and let your heart open and bloom like the beautiful lotus.
An older boy and his young companion were walking along a road which led through a field. They saw an old coat and a badly worn pair of men's shoes by the roadside, and in the distance they saw the owner working in the field. The younger boy suggested that they hide the shoes, conceal themselves, and watch the perplexity on the owner's face when he returned. The older boy thought that would not be so good. He said this owner must be a very poor man from the looks of his clothes. So after talking the matter over at his suggestion, they concluded to try another experiment. Instead of hiding the shoes, they would put a silver dollar in each one and see what the owner did when he discovered the money. So that's what they did. Pretty soon the man returned from the field, put on his coat, slipped one foot into his shoe, felt something hard, took it out, and found a silver dollar. Wonder and surprise shone upon his face. He looked at the dollar again and again, turned around and could see nobody, then proceeded to put on the other shoe. When to his great surprise, he found another dollar. His feelings overcame him. He knelt down and offered aloud a prayer of thanksgiving, in which he spoke of his wife being sick and helpless, and his children without bread. He fervently thanked the Lord for this bounty from unknown hands and evoked the blessings of heaven upon those who had given him this needed help. The boys remained hidden until he had gone. They'd been touched by his prayer and felt something warm within their hearts. As they left to walk down the road, one said to the other, "Now really, don't you have a good feeling?"
Isn't that just profound? I mean, I could watch that again and again and again and be moved every single time because I just think it's told so beautifully. I love this quote by Molly Friedenfeld. Let's say it together. A pure heart is the vessel that contains a soul's true beauty. And after watching that video, you can see that. And you can see how those boys the older boy just really taught such a valuable lesson on that day that will stand the younger boy in such good stead for his life. So let us, as I conclude this message, let us carry the essence of today's message with us. And the journey of a pure heart is not a destination, but it's a continuous unfolding, a daily awakening to the divine love that resides within us. It's a call to shed those layers and that obscure our true essence, and to embrace the love that is our birthright and the love that connects us to all of creation. Let us step forward and be the lotus. Be the lotus. See yourself as a beautiful, blooming lotus. And know that as you shine your beautiful lotus light, you do make a difference. And may we not just be seekers of the divine, but living, breathing manifestations of God's love in action. And let us go forth with open hearts, ready to see and be the good in the world. Blessed are we, for the journey is ours to embrace. May our hearts be ever pure, our intentions ever true, and our lives a reflection of the boundless love that guides us. And to anchor this message, there's a song that I know many of you know by a singer that I've shown this one before, by a singer that many of us really love too, and it seems the perfect song.
Hey, it's Jason here in a fake fur hat. A couple of weeks ago, I asked people to point their cameras into the direction of love. And if you want to know what love is, well, check this out. The question is why? Why are we here? To say our hellos and goodbyes and disappear. This beautiful life, what is it for? To learn how to master peace or master war. There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. The answer. Love, 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 make mistakes. No, we're not perfect yet. Maybe God made us all from an accident. And the question that sits on everyone's lips is why should we pick ourselves up and start over again? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. The answer. Love, love,
question I'll ask at the end of my days is, what did I give and what will I take? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart and your dreams have been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love is still the answer.
Let us say together, I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. Yes, indeed. And now we move to the time for our financial blessings. So, oh, wait, we do this first of all. Let us say together, I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. Yes, and we take our financial blessings to our heart. And I'm going to ask, oh, Joe's going. And thank you, Joe. That's wonderful. And we're going to affirm. I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. Yes, indeed. And we do have a QR code up here if anyone prefers to use that. Takes you straight to the page. Joe, I have something to give today. Thank you. That's okay. Joe will come back.
I'll be back.
He'll be back. There we go. Yes. So thank you, Joe, for helping us out today. Thank you all who've given. Thank you online if you care to give online. And thank you for all the blessings in the prayer box. We accept and affirm that all of those prayers are answered in the highest possible way. And we accept that each and every gift given today, whether given electronically or given in person, multiplies in such an amazing way for the giver. Yes, we accept that, and we accept that it supports us here and continuing to be here at Unity of Tempe. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Oh, just leave that up for a minute. And Zoom call on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Food collection next week if anyone wants to bring anything in. And apparently they are now taking, is that correct, Joe? They are taking some perishable items?
Yes, for the cooling center.
Oh, for the cooling center. So if you do have perishables, you can bring them in. They go to the cooling center.
It's not just giving water, they also allow people to stay there when it's really hot.
Okay, good to know too.
Yogurts or something like that.
Yeah,
Cheese bags or something.
okay. But better not to be perishable, probably ideal. But if you do have something that you're like, oh, I really need to get this out of my house. But probably better not to be perishable still. And our water, and Joe's told me that they're really using that water in different areas too. So that's really helpful. And I just want you to know you're loved, you're important, you matter, you make a difference. And I want you to think in your heart, who needs to hear that from you this week? Who can be shown that love? And who can you invite to be here? I know summer's kind of challenging, right? So I need the energy. So who can you think of bringing, some summer? We could think of the ideas to, maybe we should do an ice cream social or something, or give me ideas for that. All right, let's say together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. Yes, we are indeed grateful. Beloveds online, I hope you come and join us in person very soon.